Hi, Sarah here with a layout process video. For this video I'll be using products available from Crafty ribbons. I'll talk about that in a little while. I'll just tell you how I did my background here. First of all, I took a stencil which I sprayed black ink through, but because I wanted the heart shape to work from, I cut out a heart shape from my silhouette cameo and placed that on top, as you saw right at the beginning, spritzed through it and then removed the heart, which I'll use on a different project, leaving me that nice blank space for me to work on with all these lovely ribbons here. So Crafty Ribbons is a company in the UK. They do ship worldwide though, and I happened upon them on Facebook. They had a little ribbon competition. So what I'll do is I will leave a link below for their Facebook group and as well as their website where you can buy all their goodies from. So here I've got a selection of their seam binding ribbon, glitter ribbon, this lovely stripy ribbon which I've completely run out of straight away. I used the whole lot up at once. I've also got some buttons there, and as you can see I've basically sifted through and selected all black and white products because I want the whole thing to be all in black and white. As well as the ribbon, I wanted to have something that's, I didn't want to use scrapbook paper. I wanted it just to be all washi and ribbon, so that's what I'm using here. I'm just adding some washi which will work as a filler between ribbons because some of them I will be ruffling, so it's nice to have something behind them when I glue my ribbons on top. And in this whole thing I don't use any sewing whatsoever. I just glue everything down. I use some fabric adhesive later on for my photograph just to make sure it all stays put. But yep, I just use my ATG gun, trim down bits of ribbon, choose where I think they look nice. I'm avoiding keeping it even right across the heart, so further up the heart where it splits, I'm not keeping it in the same order or anything, so it's a bit more haphazard. So here I'm just adding some of that lovely stripy ribbon which I am using another project. I've got another project as well, as I'm guest designing for them. They kindly asked me to do that, so I've got a couple of projects for you and they'll have videos for them. And here I'm ruffling some seam binding ribbon. This is black seam binding. I also use white, and all I do is put down some adhesive and then use my fingers to ruffle it up. I don't do it very evenly because none of my work's particularly neat anyway. So it's just a nice rough ruffle across it, if that makes sense. So here again I'm just showing you me doing it with the white there as well, just to so you can kind of get a general idea. I just pinch the ribbon together and then press it down and then move on and repeat the process all the way through it. I find that if you do turn it so it's vertical, then it is easier to do the ruffle downwards. So there, I just gave you a quick close-up. I've added also on there some really pretty glitter ribbons in black and white also, and some extra tiny pieces of washi here and there, and some smaller ruffles here and there also. Now that was a picture I'm using of my little boy when he was quite a bit younger, and this is a alterable word. It's on sort of like a watercolor kind of cardstock, and you can just alter it. It keeps its shape. So I wanted it to be black so that it stand out, but as well as that I wanted it to stand out more, so I do actually add a little more to that later. But for now I am matting my photo to make sure that it pops up off the background, because the background, although it is monotone, it is quite busy, so I want my picture to be framed so that it does stand out. So I'm just gluing that down, and then I will add foam and extra adhesive to the back of that and then stick that there. I do have a little play around first. I always try a few different things before I decide exactly where I want things. But I cut that out because I probably took a long time and the video would have been really long. So I'm just checking that it's straight, and then I think I'll go on to work on my word again to try and make that stand out from the background as well. So I'm pretty happy with where I want it in general. So yeah, I'm taking the Wink of Stella in clear, and all it does is add a really intense glittery layer on top of that. So once I've added that, I'm taking just some paper here and my clear embossing powder, and I basically just add some Versamark to that and then dump the whole pot of embossing powder on it, because I like to be sure it's completely covered. Overkill a bit, I know. And then I just pour the rest back out. So I'm just carefully getting the word out there, and then just tip it all back in and put it to one side. And then I'll take out my heat tool to activate the embossing powder to make it all shiny, and then the glitter that I've put down underneath will shine through the embossing powder, and just the gloss just makes it stand out even more, so my words should pop up a lot better off the page because of all the shininess and glitteriness. So when I'm going over it, I always go over it quickly a few times, just so I don't stay in one spot and burn it or make the word curl with it being quite delicate. So next up, I am adding some foam dots. These are really tiny ones, but even then I cut them in two so they're tiny slithers, and then I just stick lots to the areas around across the word and then secure it down onto my layout. Here I've got some black and white glitter paper. It's nice and thin, so punches go through really well, and I used a Martha Stewart's, I think it's 3 butterfly punch it might be called. It's quite old, but I think it's one of them permanent ones that you can still get everywhere. And I just added lots of butterflies and tried to make it so white was on black, black was on white, so they stood out. So I've got lots of glitter, adding a little bit of ink splashes just to finish it off around the edge, covering my picture so it doesn't get any on his little face. And I believe that's me done. Yep, I'm done. Thanks for joining me. If you have enjoyed my video, please like and subscribe to see some more. And please check out Crafty Ribbons. I'll leave the links below. Here's some close-ups. Bye!